Hi everyone, this is Lori with Three Keys Astrology, and this is your weekly forecast for the first week of August. I know last week's forecast was a bit portentous. That energy continues this week, especially midweek, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. But there's a lot of really good energy too. And how do you get out of hell? You spend your time with people that are trustworthy, people who keep their word, people who are loving and kind. And that's the message. So, this is the forecast for August 1st through 22nd. I hope you're making summer plans and enjoying our one and only August of 2022. The theme coming across for me mostly this week, because I'm an advanced intuitive astrologer, it isn't just the science that that makes these forecasts. It's my intuition. And overall, there's a really strong message about your one and only life. This is your life. We astrologers read the energy of this lifetime. Thank you so much, all of you. And just let that sit in your heart for a moment. One life. The sun in Leo is never more powerful. Mars and Taurus is giving you vim and vigor and energy to make muscles and strong bodies and strong minds. The power of the sun boosts your health. Get out there. Get out in nature. Refuse to be involved in dramas. That's a burn sun. That's a sunburn. That's living in hell with others. And it's so profound, like I said last week, endings and beginnings, ending and beginnings. This week, Mercury on Thursday moves into Virgo. And I told you in your June forecasts at the end of June, Mercury is flying really fast. What is that? That's an amplification of our mental energies. Because we're moving into the age of Aquarius, all of these physical things that we get so attached to are not going to be how people live in the future. I promise. We're seeing with the genius that is Jeff Bezos in the dynamic trust of the universe and the intellect that God gave him. By the way, he's a strong Capricorn. And I know Capricorns um, kind of get left out and behind in a lot of astrology. Take a closer look. They're some of the sweetest people on the inside, and they have a desire to make life better. That is part of their soul purpose on this earth. And Virgo, another sign that gets targeted as persnickety and picky, and you can't please them. On the flip, Virgo there is no better analyst than a Virgo. This week is rich with the energy of Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. Guys, that's grounding. Mercury in Virgo helps you, gives you discernation, energy to make those changes you need to make, to live where you want to live, to go to school where you want to go to school, to love who you want to love, and to break out of those patterns where you're spinning your wheels in the mud, where you're second rate, where your boss overlooks you because maybe there's a soiree going on behind the scenes with an employee that's just not as qualified as you. So, like I said in last week's forecast, we got this little underbelly of ugly energy. And in honor of my late great teacher, Nikola Stoyanovich, um, this is quite the juicy week. If Nikola were alive, he would be shouting the 22-degree killer be killed degree and the 18 devil degree. Why? Because, like I told you last week, Mars is meeting Uranus. And that's kaboom. That's I am out of here. That's take this job and shove it. That is, what else did I say about that? This is powerful, palpable, strong, and major change. There's no looking back. I'm going forward. My past is my past. Yesterday is yesterday. Don't judge me. Don't try to hold me down. Stop trying to guilt and shame me. I'm free. And like I was saying, the rebirth energy is really, really strong in that cyclic wheel of endings and beginnings, and yet there's a huge emphasis on living. When the sun is in Leo, they live. In the birth chart, the fifth house is a fun house, and Leo owns that house. And that is in this week of life. I told you a couple of videos ago, there's a beautiful song for those of you that like classical music, my Italian population, and my paesano, fraterno, sorelli, um, Andrea Bocelli and Laura Pausini sing this one beautiful song. In Italian, we say vivere, and it screams dare to live. This week is so rich to live. So, what I was saying about Mercury, Mercury's leaving Leo. On Thursday, it's entering Virgo, and at the end of the month, it'll be in Libra. And in Virgo, the gift of the analytic strength of mind complements our ingression into the age of Aquarius. In the age of Aquarius, back to Bezos and those great Capricorns, there are many. Elvis Presley was a Capricorn. What's dull and boring about him? Nothing. Um, the energy of Mercury, Virgo, complementing Taurus, and Pluto, finishing up those loose ends, throwing out the junk of your yesterdays, refusing to wear the clothes of yesterday, the ideas of yesterday, the attitudes of yesterday, the oppression, suppression, and destruction of yesterday. You know, the truth of the matter is, we all benefit those times when we're knocked down on the ground, those times when we're taken out, those times when we have to have a second look at our trajectory. And it's not the cakewalks that mold character, it's the rough stuff. I teach my students people that have squares in their charts are the kind of people I want to be affiliated with. People that have a lot of trines are naturally gifted, but they don't always use those gifts, much like the children of wealthy people. It's a cakewalk. They don't have to do anything. But they're really setting back their soul because in the next lifetime or later in life, they just don't know how to hold foundation. They don't know how to make it through obstacle courses. They don't know how to resolve problems. And they always rely on someone else to make it better. So there's some really juicy things happening. This is an incredibly fateful week. August, October, November are the most fated months because we already did May. Um, and um, this is juice. This is the juice of life. So vivere, dare to live. Um, it's beautiful. This is destiny making this week, friends. All right, let's get into it. So this is your forecast for August 1st through 6th. And as I said, it's a continuation of the energy of last week. A really strong and palpable energy is that parental energy because Venus is still in Cancer, which is our values, and the Sun is still in Leo. That's mom and dad aligning, parents standing together, a force against government, school districts, any corporate organization, even churches that are trying to manipulate the way you decide to raise your family. You see, Leo, even the symbol Leo looks like a sperm. That's father, that's masculine energy, that's a daddy being in charge of the family. And then mama, the Cancer energies of the Venusian feminine energy of caring, loving, protecting, nurturing, and Cancer is saying, wait a minute, we. There's a holy legacy given to everyone, and we astrologers get to read that. In the sperm and egg of the cosmos, the spark of life and legacy connected by the threads of the DNA strands that go back to your own lineage are unlike any others. That's one of the juiciest things I love about astrology. It's the study of the unique. And by the way, my September classes are filling up, so don't waste time. Get over to www.threekeysastrology.com and sign up for those learning modules. I'm keeping you in groups that you're going to love. My current classes have all made friends with each other, and so have all the women in our astrology and remedy class. Jump in. It'll be too late by the time this airs. It may not. Maybe I'll release it on Wednesday um, to honor Mercury. We're talking Scorpio, the most intense sign of the week, and cure. And it's delicious. What I have to show you will blow your mind. So get over there. That's a $22 class that won't be that way forever. I'm pretty much giving it away so that you can teach it, and you can make money, and you can help heal this broken planet. Back to the energy, it's destiny making. So the parental energy, when you're gifted a child, it's a miracle. When any life is born on this earth, it's a miracle. That's the spark, the Uranian spark of attraction between the sexes, moon and sun. That's the masculine and the feminine attraction for each other. And that Uranian spark is the breakthrough that penetrates the egg that comes from the sperm. Again, Sun Leo, Venus in Cancer at this moment, Moon Cancer forever. That union is the only possible thing for the spark of life. But the spark of life we can feel when we get energized by songs like Vivere, when Laura Pausini and Andrea Bocelli take us in climactic melodic ecstasy and burst us into the vibration that is new creation. It's so strong. So artists, writers, musicians, songwriting is excellent this week. Um, Making new art, creating a new play, refining your manuscript. It's so good. Don't let the underbelly pull you down, like I talked about. Now, we have some interesting discussions about my talk last week, so go see that video. It's lengthy, but it's rich in mythological and I would say Gaia theory um, repertoire. Go check it out. In that warning that I'm giving you, because Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday is a high manipulation alert. Even Monday and Tuesday have some deception energy for an underbelly. So hear my words right now profoundly. When people live integral lives, they show it. It's not a sales talk. It's not a pitch. It's not an empty promise. It's not some fanatical religious ragtime uh, going on like fanatical crazy people in mania on a stage with all this con. I'm saying it. We know those. We've seen those people. They end up in jail. Um, there's some interesting. Maybe I'll do a little series about some of that too, because it's juicy and great fodder for we astrologers, psychologists, sociologists, um, people who work in the in criminal justice that are interested in my analysis. When it's true, no words are needed. It's the action of someone getting down on their knees, the action of the faithful Christian, the actions that need no words. They do it. They say they're going to do it, and they do it. We can count on Virgo, Capricorn, and Taurus forever. We are loyal. We put our mouth behind our actions. What we say is true. What we do will follow through. We're loyal in that way. Leo's loyal and royal in that way. So there's some great energy. Make no mistake, don't be divided by the baloney that the media is trying to tell you. Don't get caught up in social unrest because it's palpable. Back to our children. Be really present this week and let your little ones feel like the kings and queens. They're your future. The way you treat them in their home life is the way they'll treat you at the end of your life. That's another cyclic spark of divinity, just like creation. So protect your private life, protect your home lives this week. Don't let filthy people in the door. Would you want to live with rats? Do you want to live with parasites? Are there fleas in your house? Somebody living off of you? Get rid of those things back in that rich theory of the Gaia theory when I told you the Pluto volcanic energy is Mother Earth erupting. That red lava is much like a excuse me, a menstrual cycle that's hot and fiery, and when there's no life to give, it releases. It's the same thing with lava. It's deadly. It's coming to kill, to pull those people back down in hell. And anybody that does that to you, emotionally, mentally, or physically, that boss, when you do all the work and they take the credit for, that lover that can't give you a straight answer, that you never know really where they are and what they're doing, that secretive behavior anywhere, even teenage kids, pay attention, because truth doesn't, truth wins. Life wins, love wins. So this week, early in the week, the moon's coursing from Virgo through Scorpio. This is a great time to ferret out those filchy people, the rats, the rats, the parasite, the lice, the fleas, the locust, all the creatures, goats, frogs. Our biblical stories tell us in allegory how these creatures are night creatures, or creatures who suck your blood, or creatures who bring poison. Um, and when I was preparing for my Scorpio remedy class, we're going to talk about Paraclitus or Paracelsus, sorry, different animal. One's a philosopher, one's a toxicologist, um, who molded our future in chemistry and medicine. And he, in the plague of his lifetime, back in the 16th century, was syphilis that came from the French Indies. Now we know that our current plague has its Asian origins, and way back, because I'm a medievalist who wanted to be a professor of medieval studies, the bubonic plague came from rats on ships. So, because Pluto's in retrograde, and because Pluto's the underworld, and because Black Moon Lilith steals life, and because Saturn and Pluto are death planets, as is Black Moon Lilith, we're going to see a lot of death this week. But don't fear not. Death and toxicity and poison in the body and fleas and rats and dirty creatures in the form human um, are not in good health. They do carry syphilis and transmitted diseases, and they are contagious and they are deadly some way, somehow. It may not be the ultimate physical death, but when you involve yourself with creatures like these, they'll destroy you mentally and emotionally. That's high this week, so pay attention. And Viva Ray, you've got one life, so live it. Honor your little kids. Make them feel like little kings and queens this weekend. I'm going to go back when I was talking about industries and corporations manipulated by money. Please know it's become the medical um, corporations. Doctors can't belong to groups if they don't perform so many breast exams or breast x-rays, chest x-rays. Um, there's a gamut, and it's gotten so raunchy that it's like network marketing. If you don't perform this many pap smears, you can't be part of the group, and the numbers have to be here. In the days of our grandparents, when medicine became socialized, doctors made house calls. Please know I'm talking about corporations, not medical personnel. 99.9% of our doctors and nurses are disgusted. They went to medical school, not the corporate jerk on the golf course making deals with the devil. And I'm going to include the pharmaceutical company in that hell. So back to churches, schools, the corporations you work for, the banking industry, the medical industry, and the pharmaceutical industry. Please know that admin is not medicine. Two different animals. Let that clarity ponder in your minds this week when you decide what's best for your children. Homeschooling is a great idea when Virgo's where she is. And homeschooling is a great idea when people are pushing agendas on top of your family and cultivating your children behind your back. Some schools give out birth control. That's not okay with us Catholics. We Catholics. decide what's appropriate for our family in our value systems. Do you guys have strong values? Does your family have strong values? Because Capricorns and Virgos and Tauruses are encouraging you to build solid, cemented foundations and bonds that are unbreakable, beginning with your family. So, again, be mindful enough and sociologically smart enough to know who's trying to destroy certain populations of poverty. I'm not saying that birth control isn't a necessity, but make sure it's good enough for you, that it's aligned with your own personal values, because astrology is of the unique. I read for plenty of people that have liberal views. I'm socially extremely liberal, but my conservative Catholic traditional values, when it comes to money and the American enterprise, and you have to earn your own way, and you have to stand up and get dressed and get ready in the morning, are strong. I believe in commerce. I don't believe that the government should provide you with food and housing and shelter and get up, stand up. God gave you a life, live it. Make it bigger, better. Don't settle for a meager weekly check from the government. You're worth way more than that. And so is your family. And when you grow a family that has values like that, they habits form in 38 days. Let your kids see what it is to be a good, healthy mommy and daddy, what it is to go to work and to earn and feel really good, and then celebrate those victories of commerce. We live in a free enterprise country. Take advantage of it. The age of Aquarius is going to get more and more. You don't need stuff. Start eliminating your stuff. We're going to live in clear humidors that are not cluttered down by physical materialism. Just hear it. So take your power back over your life, starting with excellent physical, mental, and emotional health. There's plenty of psychologists out there, even if it's you don't know how to manage your anger, even if it's you finding yourself obsessing or being compulsive about a lover or an adult child, or you lived your life with your children. Let your adult children live their life with their children. You're not supposed to be there. That's not the plan. That's not God's design. So you've got one lifetime and I want you to live it up. Dare to live. Go do the things. Measure your days, the hours that you have free in recreation. How are you spending them? You're staring at the screen? Are you vicariously living someone else's life? Are you locked in a dark casino somewhere? Are you in a dark bar sitting on that same stool, seeing those same people having those same boring conversations that amount to nothing? Measure the week and see if it's your conversations and your actions are taking you forward, because it's a high fated week. So, Mars, back to Nikola Stoyanovich, will be at 18 degrees this week. I told you he was climbing toward Uranus, and Uranus is in a square to Saturn, and it has been, and it's going to continue to be, helping you eliminate the past and go forward. That's the traditional trajectory forward, the progressive trajectory forward of our social constructs and your place in society, because we all have one. Are you living off society? Are they paying for your dinner? Is somebody else's taxes paying your rent, your utilities? That's socialist. Don't feel proud if that's the way you're living, because that's not really living. That's parasitic. And I'm not putting people down that need that emergency help. It's very philanthropic, and that's why we have structures designed for that. But if you're able, get gosh damn up and get busy and be part of contributing to philanthropy, not usurping it. So Mars in Taurus meets the North Node, and the Sun in Leo is there too, catapulting you forward. And believe me when I tell you, some of you, just like the medieval war themes of being on that catapult on the top of the castle when you're fighting off the enemy, you're going to catapult yourself forward. And you're going to go one way or the other this week, I promise. So if you want to stay where you in chains, chained to your past, living in past hell, living with miserable people, go ahead. But if you don't want to, dare to live. Tell them to take that job and shove it. Walk away from the cheater. Domestic violence is going to be high this week, so I'm going to go one by one. I don't want you to be embroiled in any kind of violence. Nobody wants that for you. And we astrologers really care about our clients. Oh, I meant to say, Thank you so much. You guys have helped me reach the 600 mark. Woohoo! I finally have 600 followers. Please keep sharing my videos if you love my analysis. I deserve to make some money and monetize this hard work. I've been doing it for 2 whole years, just giving you my all, giving you my best in analytical educations. So please jump on for me if you like it. And thank you for sharing. I'm going to start once a month giving away a free reading to those of you that comment on my YouTube channel. And let's talk. No subjects off the table. I'm a deep astrologer. If it's sex, if it's drugs, if it's money, if it's rock and roll, if it's addictions, if it's whatever, that's kind of astrologer I am. I like to get in where it's deep and get out the poison. Hence the astrology and remedy class. In a homeopathic way, you take a little bit of the poison for the cure. And yeah, I'm a Sigeric astrologer for sure. Okay, so because Mars is approaching Uranus, because Virgo is leaving Leo, flying into Virgo, and will then get into Libra. Mercury is your car, your transportation, your neighbors, your children, your family. We're all making these decisions about school because our little ones don't let this don't let the nervousness about what's going to happen in September occlude the sun fun in Leo. So have your fun vacations. If you didn't get one, have a little fun staycation. You can have a vacation wherever you are. God gave you imaginations. So that power is really strong. And you can have them. If it's camping out in the tent, it doesn't cost money to have fun. And never, never. Money makes fun more fun for sure, but don't let that stop you. So the social unrest this week is going to be really high because the the devil in that Uranian degree and the 22 degree Saturn killer be killed degree is atomic. Social unrest is going to be high. Um, Supreme Court decisions and public outrage are what we're currently living in, and we're still sadly, helplessly watching what's going on in Ukraine. And I honor Zelensky. We need more men like him. And I hope Putin meets Pluto and a bigger devil comes along to take him back to where he belongs. It's not okay to take life ever. So the social rest is on high. The heat index is going to continue to be high. We're going to be suffocating this first week of August. Temperatures are going to be approaching 100 degrees and they'll be higher if you live on the West Coast in America, and you European countries in the South, you know it. Um, so, what do I want to say? So, social unrest is going to be astronomical, and so will be the heat index. Protect the elderly, protect the youth. Elderly people dehydrate faster. People like me with traumatic brain injury dehydrate faster. Anyone that's had post concussive issues, look out for them. So load up on the Gatorade, get the water, make sure you have good, clean, clear water sources. Buy filters, drink filtered water. And again, like I said in last week's forecast, fires are raging. Spain's on fire, I know. There's fires down in Greece. California's on fire again. Be part of the cure. If you have the time, the wherewithal, the energy, and strength, get out there and fight fires. But fight fires also in little sparks of anger, because it's going to be a lot this week. And drown out hot emotions for sure. Neptune's helping you do that. Venus and Cancer's helping you do that. The moon always helps you do that. And the weekends with the moon and Scorpio, and that can give you some deep introspection into just what exactly you're doing with your private lives. So there's huge breakthrough possibilities this week. It's the catapulting kind, and I love it because I'm a double Taurus. So this is when Mars in Taurus meets the North Node in Uranus. Guys, this is horsepower. This is torque. This is um, surges of testosterone and unstoppable power. So, this is a new home, new relationships, relocations. This is a break loose energy that says, hey, if it's not about love, I'm not part of it. And I would say that please know, because you have plenty of choice with the sun where it is, with Virgo where it is, with Pluto in retrograde, and Jupiter in retrograde. You have the power of choice. You live in a world of free enterprise where there's still plenty of choice. So for all signs, destiny's in the making, baby. And I hope you take it up. You can think of your life like you with your children and your own life. You can mold it like the clay that is the potter's wheel. That's destiny this week. So I would say if you want to live like me, live simple, live easy, live stoic, and live for love. What else matters? Live in the truth. Mold your destiny. You can. We astrologers see it all the time. That chart that we read, your birth chart, is filled with potentiality. And as the wheel of your life courses year to year through the cosmos, by the people you meet and the additions and values you apply to your life and the mate you have, the lover you have, the sweet babies God gives you when you marry, mate, and make sacred vows, you won't regret it. This is beautiful. On Monday, it's that meeting. Mars going into Uranus, the moon and Pluto. Um, there's a grand Earth trine that sets the stage for the month of August. This is the foundational bonds of cemented engagements, promises, commitments, signed contracts for new properties, new homes. It's not talk about it, it's get there and get it done. And this is so good because it sets the tone. A grand earth trine says you deserve your own home. You deserve to live in the neighborhood you want to. You deserve to live in the country you want to. You deserve to work for an employer that's got integrity, because integrity is a big earthy word. Um, uh, Cement is Saturn, and homes, farmland, commerce, all Taurus. And Virgo is having the mindset to do what you need to do to make it happen. Virgo's on the ground, Taurus is on the ground, and Capricorn's on the ground. And Pluto's in retrograde saying, dump out yesterday, don't dress like yesterday, don't live like yesterday, don't be stuck in nostalgia. If it's not what you want it to be and you've waited patiently, keep praying. God's in charge of any difficulty. But you have the power to wake up early in the morning and take those physical steps, because this is physical, make no mistake. This is not sitting around and dreaming about that new house. That's getting to the bank, signing the papers. That's going to the, I just lost the word for it, but I have plenty of clients who were born in one country and happily live in another. Go to the immigration, I forget what it's called, where you get your passport. Go apply for citizenship in another country or go get a temporary visa. Jupiter in Aries is telling you to do it. You don't have to live where you don't have to be planted and stuck where you were born. We have this whole big wide world that's so beautiful, so culturally rich, so religiously rich. Get out there and live, vivere. So mold your life like, be a potter. Mold the people that you love with love. Be accountable. Be proud of the work you do. Have a good, sweaty day of prosperity. It's just like when you're training for sports. And you can regress back to high school if you haven't done it yet. But all of us that are athletic know this. There's a Your brain secretes dopamine, and your brain and your muscles have memory. Your body has memory everywhere. Every single part of your body has memory. And when you work out, and when you train, and when right now I'm working on the power of my right arm and my tennis swing, and I'm trying to bat that ball from the farthest court all the way into the other court, and I pretend I'm Djokovic. Okay, I know I'm silly. You guys know that too, but many of you love my imagination. Or I pretend he's my opponent, and I'm trying to beat that ball as far as I can get it, and my arms are getting stronger, and my legs are getting stronger, and I'm getting more physical. I have Mars and Taurus on my sun and my moon and the North Node and Uranus there. And this energy is electric. And this energy, that energy, when you make that hurdle, when you beat your record, when you overcome a goal, when you get rid of the junk, oh my God, hold it with me. So that's how Monday is. You can't beat it. Um, you're getting solid sound ground and strength and stamina to cement those bonds, to make those commitments. Venus in any kind of an aspect to Saturn is encouraging you, even when it's in difficult aspects. You're having upset in your love life or your materialism or your financial life because you're not making the commitments to get up and go to work every day. And yes, relationships take work. Yeah, you got to wiggle around and mold yourself and fit in and give up sometimes and let the other guy win sometimes. So step into your private feelings because Monday is a moon day. I'm a Cancer moon. We Cancers, Pisces, and Taurus are having the time of our lives. We're not on the street screaming about our right to kill other people. It's just asinine. It's maniacal. It's insane. See it for what it is. War is insane. Mentally disturbed people take other people's lives. It's Black Moon Lilith. Abortion is wrong. Killing is wrong. Gang memberships that wield their guns, and it's going to be strong. There's going to be gunshots, lots of death this week, lots of war, ugliest parts of war, and people sneaking around in corners like Pluto does, Pluto energies do to go take life. You want to be part of that? You don't waste your life screaming on the street like an idiot. Who does that? You'd call the police or your psychiatric facilities if you saw someone standing on the street screaming. Don't do that. There's other ways to protest that don't include damaging other people, hurting other people, screaming like banshees. And think about what your purpose is. You really want to be known for a killer? Do you want to associate yourself with killers? Um, I listened to a doctor the other day in philosophy that I adore, and he was talking about the herd mentality. We know it's also referred to as sheeple. And he's like, do you want to be as smelly as the herd? Do you have to abide what they say? Because you do take on the energy of the people you hang around with. So do you want to be smelly and stinky and bold and one-sided, and that's the only option? Because it's not the only option. Killing's Killing is gonna stain you for maybe a couple of future lifetimes, and you won't get eternal promises, and you won't have favor, and people won't trust you. Because the bottom line is, in our instinctual survival needs, we want to live. Even if you're encountering times where you're so distorted and upset and destroyed that you're contemplating taking your own life, the truth of the matter is, the moment that the zygote is fertilized, the moment sperm meets egg, your will to live is the strongest will. That's Uranus. And so dare to live. And live in contemplation. August is saying, you have a heartbeat, you have life, the spark of life. How are you living? Are you wasting your hours with groups of herd mentality that smell to high heaven, that are one-sided and blindsided? Check yourself. Are you letting a corporation, a government, a doctor, uh, who's who's a sheeple under a corporation? Because a lot of them are saying, it's not why I went to medical school. They take a Hippocratic oath to save life, not to poison life, not to destroy life. It's a wrenching situation when, especially our Catholic doctors, work for organizations that think it's okay to do that. They leave. They're smart. So if you're part of sheeple or herd mentality, define it, analyze it. Virgo's giving you the power to do that this week on Thursday. But the ground of this week is so good, and it remains. So Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, and Aquarius, wherever you have planets in those signs, because we're all part of all 12 constellations, that support is there for you. That foundational energy and ability to commit is there for you. And ability to get rid of the junk and the parasites and the rats in your life that just keep living off you, taking you, draining you. It's so good for that. Um, you're going to get, this energy too is really more about our traditions. And so, what are we going to keep? What do we want to carry for our children? But the Pluto retrograde is giving you the power to eliminate any kind of hellish indecision or confusion. If your mind's there, ask yourself who's putting it there. Are you doing it? Are you self sabotaging? Because it's a week to make clear decisions and stick to them. And it's a week to realize there's more than 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 ways to solve problems. Maybe you need to polish up on some critical reasoning. Go take a course at your college. You don't have to be locked in indecision and come and get. I have healing and remedy readings available on my website. I will listen to you. Ducky at 3keysastrology.com. I offer healing, remedy, so that you're not teetering and tottering and wavering about indecision. Take charge of your mind. Take charge of your life like a bull does and plow your way to where you want to go. And it better be toward love or it's not going to work. So I love me this. Now, I do want you to know that one of the underbellies for the week is that the moon is opposite Neptune, and that's a deception alert. So refuse to listen to nonsense. Anybody's acting fanatical, eject them. Just say, I'm sorry you feel that way, or I'll think about what you said, but remove yourself from that energy. Um, People who don't honor their word are people that you need to leave. On Tuesday, Venus, Mars, Uranus are in a sextile to Neptune. So this is the vibe of we that are making love, we that are supporting other people, we that are donating, giving, being generous, we that are spiritual, we that do morning meditations, we that are devoted in prayer, clergy, nuns, um, people, social causes that are very humanitarian, all philanthropic endeavors. This is so good. And that's the high vibe. Stay there. It's so good for romance, new love, fresh starts, for you to adore your partners, your children, your family, to make grandma feel special, to make papa feel special, to surprise them, to let the little children in your life know the life that grandma and grandpa lived. It's so good for this. Now, the little bit of underbelly on Tuesday is that the moon's going to oppose Jupiter. So again, it's a fanatical warning. If somebody's trying to sell you a bill of goods, watch out, especially for telephone calls. People that don't fall into traps. Do you need those subscriptions? Do you need those memberships? Is your money flying out the window? This is a physical week. Get real, get physical. What do I need for survival? Because I told you there's a really big underpinning of your destiny. Mold her. Live simple. Why do I go buy all this junk that clogs up my cupboards and then clogs up my belly and makes my family fat and sick and weak so that we need those doctors that are manipulated by those corporations? Because you don't need that. The Bible says everything you need to heal is in the earth. So what you do is you get your own land, work for that, get your own home, grow your own food, fertilize it, make it prosperous and organic, and then can it like your great grandmothers did. We all come from farmers. Taurus are farmers. If you got your sun, moon, your rising sign in Taurus or a stellium, mark my words, your ancestors owned a lot of property and they helped prosper their communities. You don't have to buy junk. Don't fill your body with sugar and flour and empty carbohydrates that are like empty people who make promises and live off of you. If you ladies are single, if you men are single, find a man or a woman that's already got it going on. If they need to move in with you and live off of you, what do you think you're going to get in the long run? A lot of problems. And so that's going on. But beware of manipulators, beware of liars, beware of deception and fanatics. That's the underbelly. And then that social unrest of the angry people. Clear, we talked about it a ton last week. You can go see that video because it continues this week and it's going to get ugly. But if you're not involved in people like that, you can live sweet like we Taurus, Cancer, Pisces are. It's delicious. And I would say Virgos are having a nice time too if they're starting to feel their value, trust their instincts, and not be overlooked. Because Virgo sometimes will. And so will Capricorn. So I'm giving a lot of extra love to my Virgos and my Capricorns. You're worthy people. You're people we can count on, and we love you. I love me. those signs. So here we come for the climax of the week will be Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday for the ugliness. So I've warned you about Black Moon Lilith. If you're new to the channel, thank you for subscribing. Thank you for sharing. Keep on sharing my work on all your social media platforms. We have a lot of people to help, and that is my purpose. My advanced intuitive astrology and the life I've lived for 60 years is about helping people get out of some of the hell I've been in, some of the hells I've lived through with traumatic brain injury and all the social ramifications that come when you're unable to work. Brain and spinal injuries are the most serious injuries. And I overcame. It almost feels like it happened to someone else. And you can count on me. I'm tough. And I've been there, and I'll help you live in truth and honesty, integrity, and expect that so that you're not surrounded by people that are taking your love and your light. I promise. I care. So, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, high for domestic violence. We've got the moon in a square to Pluto and Venus. Pluto and Venus is rape energy, it's control and power. Rape is not a sexual crime. Yes, it involves the sexual organs. I shouldn't say that it's not a sexual crime, it is. But why do they do that? It's a deficit of power, it's an emasculation of the person in their spirit and their soul and their mentality that gets charged and thrilled out of a taking from someone else virtue, innocence, sexuality. It's Black Moon Lilith, and that same demonic force of taking life when people murder other people is that emptiness and a deranged and demented attitude. So it's high. Get rid of it's a high alert. If you're living with dangerous people, I told you last week, make your exit strategies. Dangerous people, nice people don't harm you, friends. Lots of us live in safe, sweet homes where we're having fun. We're living heaven on earth. We're not involved in any kind of hell. The North Node, and because of where Taurus and Uranus are in that killer be killed mentality and that devil energy, demonic energies are strong this week. And so those people will be on their highs. They're charged. Any demonic force that you can think of, imagine them injecting themselves with steroid and that they're in these roid rages. So temptation, greed, murder, crimes, outrageous actions turned deadly, hot fires, and social unrest, gun violence, weaponry, war. It's going to be like the bursting of the volcano with fire splattering and blistering and taking life. That's it. And the same thing with volcanic. I talked about the environmental pressures and those tectonic plates shifting, the pressures in the earth last week. You can go revisit that if you're interested in the alchemy that is the magic that is weather and our skies. Expect to see lightning, expect to see storms, expect to be people embodying storms within. So, just keep integrity in mind. Keep keep purpose in mind. Keep value in mind. Be with valuable people. Don't waste your time talking to nonsense. Don't waste your time with fanatics. Don't waste your time marching when you could be making somebody's life better. And yeah, improve your home. The energy that we have, all this great earth energy, you can make your home a nuzzly little cozy nest. Have you been wanting to put new steps on? Do you need a new roof? Any home improvement, especially the yard. Manicure those lawns, fertilize that grass. Make your house pretty, inside and outside. Make it a welcoming retreat. Let the inside of your house feel like the best hotel you've ever stayed in. You can do that. There's lots of companies who sell hotel bedding and mattresses, and good sleep, good rest are needed for the good foundational energy that Virgo, Capricorn, and Taurus are giving us. So, um, make lots of friends and bring them into your home and have celebrations. Live your life. That's living. That's making some kind of fun and memory for someone else. And Venus, Mars, Uranus, the Sun, the Moon, Neptune, and Pluto are saying, I'm going to make new friends. I'm going to hang out with quality people. I'm not going to waste my time. I'm going to take classes so that I can educate myself and be a better person. That's foundational. That's mental foundation. You've got the power. Venus and Aries wants you to get out there and go learn something new. Venus and Pisces does too. That's where Jupiter is going to hang out. Jupiter, I mean. Jupiter and Aries and Jupiter and Pisces is higher knowledge. So they're helping you get rid of hell. Pluto is, and all those planets, more than 7 of the planets, are helping you eliminate any hell. Now, um, and that's most especially glorious for Cancer, Taurus, and Virgo right off the top. New foundations, new homes, new love, new friends, new knowledge, new inside cozy beds, new inside appliances, new inside cooking, eating healthy, not buying processed junk, getting rid of the sugar. Go through your cupboards and dump all that sugar, dump all that processed junk. You can eat clean, you can eat green, you can be healthy and feel great. Um, I would say that if you want to adopt my Stoic philosophies, um, in a simple start without the complexity of not having the time, because you are getting ready to get the kids to go back to school and hopefully you're in faith, um, just live the commandments, the golden rule. That's a great start. I've talked to you about my favorite, St. Ignatius of Loyola's Examen. You can Google those 5 tenets of St. Ignatius Loyola, who lived in 1347 and whose legacy is that we can still do that. So Friday still, Friday will be, I think Friday I would call a determinant this week. So if you stayed in the high vibe of the Cancer energy, the Taurus energy, the Piscean energy, and you didn't get down and dirty and you stayed grounded in Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn with a determination about love and value systems and living an integral life, Friday will be sweet. If you didn't, the determination of the hell you decided to embroil yourself in with those temptations, those seductors, those manipulators. If they snared you like a fish with a hook in its mouth, and you're still there, and you're still tortured, and you're still tormented, and you're still sleeping with the enemy. By the way, thank you, my sweet Emma. When I was doing the videos a couple of weeks ago, I was talking to you about the seduction that is in the movies Fatal Attraction and sleeping with the enemy, and especially sleeping with the enemy. She got away. Get away. You can get away this week. The sun in Leo gives you the power to live by your heart. And Mars in Taurus gives you the strength to get the hell out of where you don't belong. That's what Uranus and the nodes are for. So this is why destiny is in the making. So Friday, I want you to say to yourself when that day lands, if you have time, did you let your heart lead you this week? Did you decide to eliminate yourself from some of those boards, those organizations, that sheeple herd mentality? Did you decide to go, done, done, I'm done? Um, did you leave? Did you go get a new home? Did you make plans with a bank? Did you go sign the papers? Did you make it legal? Make it legal. That's what Saturn's saying in Dignity and Aquarius. Um, Or were you on the street screaming in favor of death, hell, and eternal damnation? Think about it. Think about it before you go marching around like a lunatic and a radical. Were you, or were you nuzzled in your nest, making little ones smile, um, and feeding joy, peace, and happiness? Were you nuzzling in your nest, making a really nice dinner for your neighborhood? It's a great time for a neighborhood barbecue. We have a lot of fireside neighborhood loveliness where I live now. And that's where I want you to be. And then the last thing I would ask you to ask yourself on Friday is, are your loved ones recharged by you? Do you fill them up with energy that's positive and uplifting, that's supportive, that's telling them that you believe in them, that's making little children and giggle and go to bed with sweet dreams and prayers and promise? Are you doing that? Because if you are, I want you to know Friday's fate and that Saturday has promise if you're doing that. The sun is very sexy on Friday. So if there's someone that you love, make plans, make some sexy plans. adore your partners. There's lots of ways to do that. And I'll leave that up to your imaginations. If you want to share those, comment below. Again, to re-emphasize, all of you that keep commenting and staying with me, thank you. That's your little bit of reward and recognition that I need to say, I heard your video and it was worth me to write a sentence to you. That means more than you can imagine. It's weird when you talk to a screen and there's nobody there. It took me a long time to overcome doing that. It just felt so weird. It felt like climbing a mountain and taking deep, deep breaths for me to get to the top of that, overcoming that stage fright, if you will. But thank you so much for that. Those of you keep commenting. I'm going to pick one person each month and give you a free reading. And we might even do it on my YouTube channel. So please keep commenting. Please keep sharing. Please keep giving me a thumbs up. You're helping recharge the logarithm. So again, the question is, are you recharging the people by you, beside you? Are you giving them the hand on their shoulder, the hug they need, the courage they need to know that they're backed? Because it's so good for Leo, Taurus, Aquarius, and Scorpio. Um, yeah, I love it. Get reverent, get holy, get realistic. Taurus is really realistic, very practical. So Saturday is going to be really, really nice for nesting, nuzzling, making lots of love, making people smile, feeling good, feeling recharged by the sun and your loved ones. It's beautiful. Sunday is not quite the same. Things change. In order to counter it, go to Mass. You can't get to church, the church is closed, watch it on TV. I highly recommend Father Mike Schmitz. He's a hero that I discovered back in, I think, 2014, and I'm still faithful to his Mass when I can't see my own church, go to my own church. He's delightful. And he's got a lot of earthy energy too that will ground you. And his messages are practical, but still so holy and still so devoted to those same prayers that our ancestors Catholic were praying 2,000 years ago that we pray today. It's a uh, beautiful blend of the tradition of our ancestry and yet the modern day technology that we can still be with Father Mike Schmitz, who resides in Minnesota. Um, and he's delightful. You'll fall in love with Father Mike. Sunday requires stoic patience and selflessness. Sometimes you got to bite the bullet. Sometimes you got to let a bull rip up the field. Sometimes you got to get out of the way of the vicious and the angry. And you can, in your patience, which is an energy you can grow, and boom out to the energetic field in your home, your workspace, or hopefully it's at home on Sunday. I'm sorry for those of you that have to work Sundays. I spent years and years and decades having to do that, and I hated it. God says to keep that day for rest and to be out in His sun and to nurture your children, your sons especially, the little boy children, and spend time with the men in your family. So I would say that if you stay quiet when there's a catastrophe or an outburst or anger and radiate patience and stillness, forgiveness outward, you can start to build the magnetic, energetic powers within you. So, all of you know, and every time I do a reading, I open the chart with a prayer, I close it with a prayer. Every time I meet people on Zoom, we go into a meditation or a prayer. I get to read, I get to see with God's eyes creation. That's the way I look at the sacred science that is astrology and my duty to serve it. So, if you, once you get those muscles and that muscle memory of instantaneously calming your being. And I taught you that in the 478 breath. If you need more information, comment below and I'll give it to you. Dr. Wayne Dyer gets that credit. He's a medical doctor turned naturopathic who lives in Scottsdale, Arizona. And scientific studies have been proven and peer reviewed that you don't need antidepressants when you regularly, at least 3 times a day, get in the habit of the 478 breath. It regulates and resets the neurotransmitters in your brain and helps promote serotonin calm. It's amazing and it's free. You don't have to go to the doctor. You don't have to get an insurance. You don't have to, you breathe. When you get to that power, for those of us that do yoga, for those of us that are mentally strong, for those of us that have mastered emotion, for those of us that are in devout prayer and reverent and devoted and not fanatical, neurotic, crazy, and maniacish in our faith, you don't have to tell it to anybody. God knows it. I mean, no other human being on the planet's ever going to be God. And the sooner you realize it, the less you kiss asses and the less you let them upset your apple carts or try to destroy you. One employer isn't going to be the end all be all. A spouse that's gone awry is not the end all be all of your being. And I'll help you see the power in that. If you grow up with parents that were destroyed by chemicals and addictions, that's not the end all be all. Some of the people of those parents turn out to be some of the most phenomenal people on the planet because, again, they had to overcome, they had to jump hurdles, they had to make major changes. Those are people that we highly admire, want to understand, that can help masses like crazy. The energy this week is that strong. So hold, once you mentally master breath and concentration, then you can take it from this realm and drop it into your heart, but better yet, drop it into the brain that's in your guts. I'll help you. It's part of the healing that I do, part of the healing that I give. I'm a second-degree Reiki healer, and I've been for years. And that's power that we can give to each other. When it's in your gut, and you beam it out through your belly button, which is the hara line that's connected to your universal creative force. In that sacral area of your belly button, down to your sex organs, around the sacral crown of your pelvis, which moves you in life. When you make your pelvis strong, you'll have incredible creative power. The power to write, the power to paint, the power to sing, the power to make songs, the power to make companies, the power to grow big businesses. The energy in the pelvis is creative energy. And when you can drop that power of patience, of peace, of joy, of happiness down in to the universe that is the belly button, that is the core of your connection to a spot in the universe that's the umbilical cord of the universe, that is Sagittarian. And in that core, because it's ruled by Jupiter, Sagittarius is high philosophy, high ideals, God's energy. That's why our Sagittarians are so high-minded. That's why they're professorial. That's why they're philanthropic. That's why they're the priest, the judge, the preacher, the minister, the nun. And the power of Jupiter in Aries is saying, what is your singularity to high minds, high knowledge, high philosophy, and devotion? And do you embody the energy of integrity? Can people count on you? Do your actions speak your integrity? I'm going to leave you with that. I didn't mean to go on like this, but I have a pretty high Jupiter. And I have a lot of planets in dignity in my chart. That speak to high value and a reverence for life, creation, people, and a power in me. My Mars is in Aries. My Jupiter's my Jupiter is in Pisces in dignity. My Saturn's in Aquarius in dignity. My Moon is exalted in my chart, and my Mars is a protective energy that is of high mind, that wants to help pull those people up that need a lift. You can count on me for that. So go to www.3keysastrology.com, hire me. I'll meet you as much as you want to in consultation to help you overcome those things. I'll give you practical application to help you overcome those things. I'll teach you astrology if you want to open your own business, even if it's just part-time, or if you want to know more about this ancient sacred science. It is science. It's not magic. It's not pretend. It's science. And yeah, I'm offering you that. Come get into September. Play, have fun in August, and get involved in September. You can become an astrologer in 20 weeks if you have 2 times a week to meet with me and the rest of our group for 3 hours. And my students are loving it. If you need recommendations, ask them. And if you need anything, comment below. Get yourself involved and be part of this charge of growing the energy of healing and spreading the energy of patience, spreading the energy of love, spreading the energy of truth. Bye for now. God bless you. Have a great August. The powers are so good, so strong to overcome anything that's hurting you or has held you down. I'll help you get out of there. Get out of hell. Get away from hellish people. Get away from those demons and those nasty, nasty people. Stay on love. Stay in light. Stay Sun Leo. Sun Leo has all kinds of fun, the most fun. So does Sagittarius and Aries. So get your fire. Spark that fire and get busy. And go work out. Go get your body back in shape. Get cute again. Venus in Cancer, you never look prettier. So go do your beauty treatments and go get massages and feel beautiful. Buy yourself some new clothes. Look good, Cancers. Venus is on you. And she's also enriching your pocketbook. Woo! We all love that. Bye for now.